Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Planet Zoo. Now today guys, I thought I'd just start off the episode with a really quick time lapse here. So we're just going to prettyify, that is a real word, the outside of the ostrich enclosure here. So we just take a bit of time to put in some of these flower boxes that we made ourselves. Well, the flower boxes themselves are the fine. Then we just chose which flowers to put in them. And then I just surrounded it with these little log things here. It did actually take me a little while because they're a little bit tricky. But you get them all lined up nicely and they all go along the side of the path here. And then we'll eventually put some plants in behind them. But we just line the path with them. And I really like those little African flower boxes we got there. So I have actually decided we're going to make an Africa area over here now. So yeah, I've been researching the African theming type things. So we'll be able to do a lot more cool things with that. Make it look a lot better. As you can see, we really struggled with these wood planks for a while, but we eventually get them all in there looking nice. And then we put a big sign at the front here that just says ostriches on it. And then I tried to put in some mulch there, but it is much too big. So I just planted it up with some of these like ferns and things. I tried a few different flowers and stuff like that. But ultimately we got like nettles and a few other little plants in there, which is pretty cool. I didn't know what a nettle was until I came to live in the UK and then touched the things, and they're not nice, guys. They give you kind of like a rash, and they're very itchy. Not ideal. I touch them quite regularly in my job, unfortunately, by accident. Still not used to them. And then we just put a few lights on here, guys, and then we built like a little thing in the middle of the path. I think the people can walk through all of this theming stuff, so I mean that's a little bit weird, but apart from that, we put this like giraffe neck thing in the middle here, put a few plant pot things around them, put some little plants in them, and I think it looks really cool. I'm just gonna have to ignore that people are walking through the stuff, but yeah, looks really cool. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that little time lapse. I've just been informed that we've had a baby saltwater crocodile. There he is. Wait, is there birds? Or is that poop? Mate, this crocodile has poop on his head. What are you doing? Go for a swim. Anyway, we have a baby crocodile. Look at him go. Is it a woman or a man? It is a female. Okay, that might actually be alright, but I think crowding issues because they're in here. Okay, if we just quickly look at the Zoopedia, I don't think they can really be in here. One male and one female, yeah. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, and once it grows up, we're going to have to get rid of it. But I think what I'm going to do is put a contraceptive. Do we want to do that, or do we want to keep the babies so they live for longer? I mean, this guy's pretty old now, 34.8 years old. How long do they live? Age 72 years. Okay, he's not that old. He's not that old at all. You're doing just fine, aren't you, pal? Alright, cool. So we'll keep them for a few more years. We'll hopefully get rid of that when we can. Anyways, guys, yeah, so this is the little decoration we did around here. Got a few plants in there. I think that's looking pretty cool. The poles in here. And yeah, we are researching more African stuff. So if we take a look in our staff area, we're going to get onto another time lapse in a second, guys. I just want to quickly check on some stuff. What am I doing? Mechanics research. Yeah, Africa theme. There we go. So we're still researching that. We're researching habitats and barriers. Okay, very cool. We could also research New World theme because I want some of that stuff as well. And there's stuff in the... there's stuff from all of these themes that I want. I want all of these things, guys. Okay, let's start researching some of these things. And yeah, okay, cool. It's going to go nighttime for a very brief period, and holy heck, my eyes. Alrighty, anyway, I just want to check if people are walking through this. I suppose they might not, because there's no reason for them to walk that way. They either want to walk that way or this way, so they might not actually do that. Who knows? But anyways, guys, this is going to be the African place up here, obviously. These guys are from Asia, I believe. Southeast Asia, India, Northern Australia. Well, it's going to be the Africa area. We might move these guys later to a different pen somewhere. But I think what we'll do is have like sort of a cool looking entrance thing. And I might just build that now. Maybe bring a path over here and have like a big like Africa sign or something. Or we could do that out here. It's just we have the ostriches right here. And they're having a great time, the ostriches. Where are they? I think we can have quite a few ostriches. But anyways, guys, let's get into another time lapse, and I'll build something, and hopefully you'll like it. Let me do some thinking first. So guys, we actually ended up deciding on making a giraffe enclosure. Now, I've cut out a lot of this time lapse because as you can see, there's a path underground there and that goes down to the enclosure gate down there, the habitat gate. And that probably took me about an hour, hour and a half just to get that in. It just won't place, guys. If there's a bit of land anywhere near it, if the land is not flat, even though it is flat, I don't know. It took me yeah, it took me so long to get these paths where I wanted them, and they're still not exactly what I wanted. I did not want to make this big rock thing, but we kind of had to in the end to get the gate in there and get the paths on the ground and stuff. So, you know what? We'll just ignore all of that and carry on. And then we stuck these little railings along the wall here so that people didn't fall into the enclosure, because I thought that would be bad. I thought that would definitely be bad. Yeah, so we had to take the fence out for the ostriches a few times as well to get the paths in, but yeah, we cut most of that out now, guys, so it's okay. We have everything going in nicely. And, yeah, so we decided on the giraffes. We made the paths a bit dirty over there. And then, guys, we resized this place about 4 or 5 times as well. So I made a lot of mistakes while building this, so just ignore them. There's a lot of learning curves in here. As you can see, I had to remove that and then move the null barrier out again, and then I changed the size several times to suit what I wanted to build in there and everything like that. And then we had to get a bunch of keeper stuff together as well so we could get all of the animals in. And yeah, after that though, guys, we do start working on it and making it look very pretty. It does actually turn out fantastically in the end. So yeah, hopefully soon we'll get the actual giraffe in. Should be there in just a second. There we go. I got them in because I wanted to see their size and I wanted to see what kind of terrain they wanted. And as you can see there, maybe for a split second, there wasn't enough space in there. So we actually had to make it bigger several times. And then I realized how big like a shelter would have to be for them and things. So we expanded it out, and I actually expanded out a little bit more later on. Then we start to build my very first building ever. Now, this is not perfect by any means. And while watching back, I realized ways I could have done it better and things like that, but we eventually get there, guys. So we use these like mud walls and stuff from the Africa theming, and I think it turns out quite nicely. We get some archways, some windows, and that sort of thing in there. And just you leave a big gap in the middle so they can walk through, the giraffes. And yeah, we put their bedding and stuff in there, and yeah, it ends up looking pretty cool. Well, it's not the best thing ever. Actually, as you can see, I managed to copy something over with an error in it, and then had to redo it all. But yeah, it's not so bad. So we move them over there again to get like a scale of how big they are and things like that, and then we start putting in some like support beams, and you know, it's all a bit crazy. Now, I don't know if I can talk over this whole time lapse, but I don't want to talk. I don't want to miss talking about like the environment and stuff. So I might just put a bit of music on while we build this, and then I'll come back when we get to the environment stuff. And so here we are, guys, at the environment stuff. Now, eventually we get onto this little part next to the waterfall here, and this little like L-shaped bit that's slightly raised that I just placed that tree on there. That is one of my favorite parts of this whole enclosure. It actually turns out really, really nicely. I think we could eventually put more trees around the outside than we actually do. But yeah, as you can see, I put these little ferns in there. And eventually we start putting rocks around. Yeah, there we go. Putting the rocks around, and we make this like a little built-up area. And it just turns out really fantastically, guys. I just really, really like this bit. And yeah, so we fill it up with all of the rocks and everything. Lots of different types of rocks and shapes, and make sure we spin rocks if we're using the same one, and all the different angles and things. And it takes a while to just place in, I mean, quite frankly, like thousands of rocks, but it is super worth it once you get it all in. And yeah, eventually we fill that up with a whole bunch of little smaller plants and just layer things on top of each other. And it just, I don't know why, but I love it so much. It looks so cool in the end. And we have this little waterfall area over here. And yeah, so wait, that should be coming up in a second. We should start adding in more of the little plants around here. Here we go. So we start adding in all the little bushes and things like that around here. Just going through them one by one, putting them in, and just scattering them around a bit, making sure they're not facing the same way or they don't look the same. They're all over the place. Rise them up and down out of the ground a little bit, and then we throw a few little flowers in there as well. And it turns out pretty nicely. And also sinking some trees into the ground, guys, you can get some really nice bushes like that. That's what we just did there. I think those are like mangrove trees or something. We use them to sink them into the ground. We do a very similar thing on the other little bump, this one here that we're just about to work on. We actually turn the trees on a little bit of an angle as well, so it looks like they're sort of growing out of there. And this turns out much the same, and it's very cool as well. And yeah, we use the trees and bury them in over the rocks this time to make sure, to make it look like the rocks have like a bush coming out of them as well. So yeah, it all turns out really, really nicely in the end. It does take a little while to get all this stuff in, but it's fantastic. So yeah, 3 hours later, we have an awesome giraffe enclosure. We probably could do it quicker. I'm still getting used to the controls and things. I think my creativity is getting better. I'm getting closer to the kind of things I want to be building. It's just, it does take me a while with the controls and things, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there, guys. We changed the terrain a little bit up here as well because it didn't make sense to be like that. But anyways, I think it turns out really nicely in the end. We fill it up with these little things everywhere. And the only place that gets neglected of this this whole thing here is the walls and the back area. We don't really put much in the back area, but we'll probably get onto stuff like that later on. I just completely ran out of time. As you can imagine, 3 hours to build one little enclosure is probably quite enough. So yeah, I'll get back to you guys when I've finished building all of this. So guys, as you can see, we actually started building like an over the enclosure little thing so that the people could get even closer to the giraffes. The giraffes would walk right up to this thing and they can actually fit under it, which is really cool. Now, this actually took me way longer than it should have. Again, I'm still getting used to controls. I place a bunch of things and accidentally delete them and move them the wrong ways and all sorts, just constantly. But we are getting better, guys. We are getting better. And also I had a hard time finding the materials I wanted for quite a few of these things. We're still researching a lot of like the themes and stuff, so hopefully when we get all of that, it'll be a lot easier. But yeah, we put in these little like base, they look like mud pillars, those type things there. And then we put this wood around it to just enclose it, make it look like it's been held on by a few things and make it look a bit better. And as you can see, I spin this round and I forget to actually click on the tick to place it, and I think it gets deleted, or maybe that happens over here. Anyway, it keeps happening quite a few times, guys. But I would like to point out a few of the mistakes I made while making this as well. So we'll go through those when I get to them. But for now, I think this part is actually looking pretty cool. We just decorate the outsides, make sure it all lines up and everything. Looking pretty good. Now, I think we're about to start building the fence around here. So instead of just putting fences in, I start putting in these logs here. And as you can see, I copy them into a group and then copy the group. That is, I shouldn't be doing that because later on I want to individually edit them. So what's going to happen is they're going to be in a group and I'll have to remove them individually in order to do that. So I eventually end up taking all the groups out and just placing them one by one like I am here. You'll see why. See right here, I'm taking one out at a time from that group. So later on, I'll be able to pick them up. You'll see why in a minute or so. We should... it takes me a while to place them around this rock. We move that rock down so it's not on the path in a minute. So yeah, it takes me a while to place all these little logs in around for the fence. But it is worth it, guys. I'll show you in a minute. I got this trick off Paul's Lee. He is a great YouTuber, and he makes lots of awesome like content, lots of things that he can like sort of teach you about this game, and he's very creative and makes some incredible enclosures and stuff. So if I remember, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description. Anyway, as you can see, guys, I just end up deleting these and just placing them in all myself again so that we can click them in a second. We will click like just random ones along. So we use the eye selection tool where you can select like a bunch of things at the same time. Right here, we just click a bunch, and I mess up several times trying to click lots of different things here. So we click like every second and then a couple in a row and just randomly click throughout. And then we hit X and we move them down just a little bit. And as you can see, it makes that like rickety fence type look. And I think that looks really cool. So I got that from Paul's Lee. He's great. And yeah, so I started putting in some fences here because I thought, you know what, that doesn't look safe enough to be looking over a enclosure like this. So I moved in these little fences. I'm not sure if they can see over these or not. I haven't figured that out yet, but hopefully they'll use that. If not, we'll have to change this up. And yeah, as you saw, I randomly put a log in the enclosure as well. I don't know why I did that. I just saw it and thought, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's do that. Yeah, so we get these cool little viewing areas here, which is fantastic. Stick the logs up in the middle, and then I move all the logs up on this side, just up a little bit, and it takes me a while to click off accidentally clicking all those rocks there. So we move those up so that people can't fall over there. And we put these up, and eventually we do the other side as well because that looks a bit silly. There we go, move that rock down, fantastic. And yeah, there was another example of me doing something and then forgetting to confirm it afterwards. We put a few lights in, guys. Not this lamp. We decided it looks terrible, and we just go with the little wall lights again everywhere. And yeah, that's pretty cool. We're going to have to go through and light our whole zoo eventually because I am going to do nighttime eventually. But just not at the moment because I'm doing a lot of building and things, and I can't do that at night. That makes it very difficult. So yeah, here we go, raise up that side, and that should be all looking nicely. Then we just do a bunch of education things, put in the usual like bins and speakers and the donation bins as well, guys. Never forget those. And also you can see the ostriches from here, so we put in an ostrich board there as well. So that's fantastic, as you can see, sticking in the bins. Alrighty, so yeah, just a few more education screens and everything is pretty much as we want it, guys. I'm not sure there's much else to say, so I will see you guys in a second. Alrighty guys, well they must really like their new habitat because they've just mated. I pretty much just unpaused it, so that's going good. That's fantastic. Everything except their enrichment is really high. Nutrition is pretty low because we haven't researched them enough to give them better food yet. But oh my goodness, they're running around like crazy. They're loving it, guys. I really like this little bit that I built here with the ferns and the stuff going up here and all the little plants and things. That bit's really cool. Yeah, we got the feeders over here, obviously. Hopefully they come and fill this one up, and the people actually use this over here. You can see the ostriches from here as well, so hopefully the people realize that they can see through here. It doesn't look like anyone's coming up here yet, but we'll see what happens. We built that little thing over there, and obviously this is my first building I've ever built, ever. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I hope you like my building. It's not the best, guys. It could be a lot better, but I thought for a start, it's not that bad. It's pretty good. So that's their little house where they can sleep and things. They got some nice hard shelter over there. We're going to have a baby giraffe soon, but that's pretty cool. Oh, and that's great. They can fit under there as well. I love that. All right, so people can come along here and see them as well. Okay, some people are coming along now. Okay, cool. Loving that. They can see the ostriches from there. And I want to see what they're saying, so let's click on this guy. Okay, he's not... He needs some food and drink, apparently. He's... My shops are too busy for the amount of people that are in here. So can they not see from here? I'm going to be very disappointed if they can't see. See, this guy's so happy about my drinks and stores. Who knows what's going on? Well, they really like aardvarks. But anyways, guys, I think it's looking pretty damn awesome here. We put in a nice waterfall over here as well. I'm going to build this up eventually, and I think we could also have, like, more trees, like, leaning in. And the outsides here might get decorated with, like, stones and things. But, yeah, this did take me a very long time, so... yeah, we don't really have any more time to do any more decoration, but hopefully everyone is loving it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe for more awesome content, and I'll see you guys later on in the very next episode.